Government is the only profitable business in the country. You win election as a governor, you are made. You, your children, your generations to come are made. You win election as the president of this country, you are made. When an office is made to be too lucrative, it becomes a do or die struggle to get there. The moment the official car of Mr. President becomes a bicycle, you won't find anybody going there. Nobody will ever vie to be president of this country then. Make the bicycle his official car. Remove all those retinues of security around him. Reduce the aura of the office. Reduce the money available to him. Put a lot of institutional regulations to limit his powers. The office will no longer attract anybody. We have institutions of the security agencies, the police. That is not independent. What Mr. President wants is what they do. So, an entire security of a country depends on the benevolence of Mr. President. That's not good enough. The police should be independent. Once you are an IG, you owe no obligation to Mr. President, but to the constitution of the country, like they do in advanced countries. FBI is not loyal to Mr. President, he's loyal to the constitution of the country. Even the armed forces. The idea of setting up a national assembly or state assembly is to serve as a checkmate of the activities of the president or of the governor.
Not to wither its power, but be more like
checkmate.
An appendage to what he does.
No, not an appendage to what he does.
Because that's what we are seeing now.
Now what you are seeing is an appendage. Whatever you want to do, you pass it through your budget to the House Assembly or National Assembly, and they look closely. They scrutinize it. And when they pass it, they also have oversight committees to ensure that you abide by the conditions for which they gave you this money.
As insecurity continues to escalate across parts of the country. Now, the call which underscores growing concern within the National Assembly over renewed insurgent offensives followed a point of order raised by a lawmaker representing Bauchi Central, and we're talking of no other person but Senator Abdul Ningi, during plenary, where he stated that one of the things that the federal government must do is to either suspend all political activities across the country or look at some frontline states of Borno, Plateau, Bauchi, Benue, Niger, Sokoto, Kebbi, and some parts of Kano. He also said that we need to suspend activities in these states until we are sufficiently certain that the insecurity challenges are over. Now, this is because we are not dealing with just this insecurity issue at all, and I'm not blaming anybody, but we cannot come here every time to lament, he said. Ningi also warned that amid the rising insurgents of attack by Boko Haram insurgents in the northeast, including coordinated assaults on military formations and fresh threats issued against any forceful rescue attempt of adopted citizens. But the big question is, if the suspension of campaign is done, would this not look as if the terrorists are winning? And should the government not do more to end this now and even after the elections? And the honest truth is, should recent increase in insurgency not be related to the forthcoming elections? And are we going to see a possible reduction of attacks after the elections? Well, this and more will take center stage on our discourse today on the show, and we're talking about insecurity and the 2027 general elections that is fast approaching. We're talking about the resurgence in insecurity, and not only that, and how it kind of relates to the 2027 general elections. But anyway, you do know, anytime we tend to talk about serious issues, we always bring resource persons that are grounded on account of it to also help us with the discourse. Hence, we have no other person, but I'd rather call him Olori. He said, no, I should just keep him on the modest tone. And I'm talking about Chief Olori Magege. You do know, he's a chieftain and an elder statesman. I'd rather not call the party, so I don't make it look as if, but it's an elder statesman and indeed a chieftain of the ruling party itself. Anyway, there I said it. Welcome and good morning to the show.
Good morning, Mike. And good morning, viewers and listeners.
Well, beautiful morning it is, but I doubt if it will leave a beautiful taste in the mouth of many Nigerians on account of the thinking of Abdul Ningi, the senator representing Bauchi Central. 8 key states, frontline states, he said that we should think of either pushing off the campaign itself or playing it a bit low. Now, before we dive deep into our discourse, I'm a bit keen and interested to get your reaction. Is he making a whole lot of sense, or would it be us shooting ourselves in the foot and the insurgents feeling that, well, yeah, it looks as if they are not taking us a bit serious?
Well, the senator is expressing his own views, but some views in view of the rising insecurity in the country. General Musa, when he became Minister of Defense, was all hot, blowing hot everywhere. And we saw some remarkable improvement in the security situation in the country generally. But recently, he's been complaining of budget limitations. Particularly when the United States budget or expenditure for the Middle East crisis was released. He was saying, you see, you can't wage a war without money.
Of course.
Which is a pregnant statement. It means he wasn't getting enough money, or he's not getting enough money to wage the war. Insecurity has risen. Brigadier generals are being killed. Colonels are being killed. Military bases are being attacked. That tells you the effrontery and the confidence of these insurgents taking on a military base and actually overrunning it. That speaks volume as to our readiness to fight insecurity. And it's stretching downwards. It's not in Kwara.
Rather stretching southward.
Southwest.
Yes.
A military base was sacked in Kwara State recently. And the tone is now moving away from religious thinking to tribal thinking, particularly in view of the Kwara State, where we now have the Afonja, these Yorubas are talking that the Fulanis are attacking them and on and on and on. So yes, Senator Ningi is expressing a view about postponing campaign in United States to let the country know that the business of insecurity is something else. But if you suspend campaign, do you suspend election?
It's another question.
It's another question. If you suspend election in United States, out of 36 states, including Abuja, how valid will you say whoever emerges? Yes, whoever emerges. How valid would that be?
You know, that seems to be the sticking point in this discussion now. Because let's look at it critically. We keep to the, if we do that, it's being felt we are playing to the tune of the terrorists. If that suspension of campaign would be heeded by the federal government. Now, my question is, in your own honest assessment, is this problem overwhelming us as it stands now? Honestly.
At the point when we invited the Americans to come, Turkey has moved into.
Yes.
Turkey has had a base now in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Certainly, if that is not a sign of being overwhelmed, what is it? It's not now that we are realizing that we will accept the fact that insecurity has overwhelmed
our... So were we treating it with kid gloves? Were we not certain of how serious this was before now? Is that the reason?
Look at it, my brother. The moment we allowed a man called Buhari to go for second tenure, that's when we make the country ungovernable for subsequent presidents.
I hope you're not taking this personal, sir.
When I'm taking it personal?
Yeah.
I don't know Buhari for Adams. I had no relationship with him till he died. Not zero. But he was my president, the president of my country. And I'm talking of how he performed and how he enhanced insecurity. The man admitted by himself that If he did not win, the country would be ungovernable for Jonathan. And he did not remove those things that he set in motion to make government ungovernable, to make the country ungovernable for Jonathan.
So all you are saying, this can be traced down
to Buhari
when he was in leadership.
Yes, when he was in government. First, he did not deal with the insurgency the way it ought to have been done. He was paying them.
So that means we're just having.
We're helping them to get entrenched. We're helping them to get entrenched. And that is the problem. Not only that, he came out with policies. In fact, he went to the National Assembly to move a bill for the establishment of the reward system for the bandits. All this while we're getting entrenched. It's no longer a lie that El-Rufai paid bandits in Kaduna State.
While he was governor.
So when you are paying people, when you are paying criminals, what are you doing?
Do you feel that narrative is why the AGF during his time, Malami and his son, is now being prosecuted under the Terrorist Act?
Absolutely. Absolutely. In the same country, more of the Malamis should be under prosecution now. In the same country. Malami made it literally impossible for Amotekun to be formed. But for the solid will and combined will of the Yoruba states, Southern governors,
Southwest governors,
yes, Amotekun would not have been established. And if Amotekun had not been established in Western states, you can imagine the level of insecurity that there will be, even with Amotekun being established. You saw bombs being planned to be planted in Ondo State. You see all that. So, yes, we've not gotten all the Malamis. And in my view, Mr. President is being held back because of 2027. I have foreseen a situation in which Mr. President will come back and deal decisively with insecurity in this country. Because he won't have the problem hanging on his head of second tenure. He will not. The North has made insecurity an issue for Mr. President. The same North has not shown a total dedication to the eradication of insecurity in the North. They have not. Rather, they are enabling it.
Do you feel the political elites in the North, the religious leaders in the North, the traditional entity in the North is not saying or doing enough on this? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, they are not doing enough. They are not doing enough. The problem in Benue and Plateau State,
North Central.
North Central, is a land grab thing. It's a land grab thing. A war for control of land resources in those two states. You know, some of the top northern elites had said that Benue and Plateau were conquered states by the Fulani Caliphate. And that they have a title to those lands. Because if a land is captured, if the land is seized by conquest, the conqueror owns the land. But that is an argument that has died long time ago. The owners, the aborigines of those lands, even if they were conquered at that time, had become sufficiently strong to challenge that conquest. That's what we are seeing today. Because nobody is saying the way it ought to be seen. The people who were conquered those days, their forefathers that were conquered those days, the new people, the recent children of the aborigines are saying, we are strong enough now to take back our land. And we've taken over the land. And the conquerors are saying, no, you can't take it back. That is the basis for the war in Benue and Plateau states. And even if government knows this, and I think they know it, it seems incapacitated to solve the problem.
Now, that is where my question lies. You know, you said this. When we had the former CDS, Christopher Musa, now being made a Minister of Defense, you came here on this platform and you applauded that move.
Yes.
Nigerians were excited having someone in a beautiful military background coming to sit as a Minister of Defense, unlike a politician that was there before now. And just like what you said, we saw huge gains within a period of 2-3 months. Now, all of that seemed to have withered away, or seem to have withered away, because this narrative isn't painted political. So my question is, does it mean when you now assume the position of the Minister of Defense, all your powers, all your belief, all your plan structure seem to have been withered down? Because I really don't understand why we seem not to be having a full grip on insecurity when we have the United States of America that has the best military on the planet helping out, when we have Turkey, who is a member of the North Alliance Treaty, and a strong push for peace and a beautiful regiment of not just military, but naval and air force in the whole world is also assisting. So it baffles me, it wonders Nigeria why we seem not to be getting a grip on insecurity. What seems to be the problem? Are we out of ideas, or are there some certain persons there saying, guys, you cannot do more than this? This is your limit. I know it's a tough question. Forgive me.
Yes, yes. No, it's okay. When you get into a car, whether old or new, when you get to a car that no matter how good a driver you are, when you are accelerating from 0 to 100, the car is moving very well.
Yes.
But when you get to the true capacity of the car is no longer moving well. I slowed down. Musa came in, he got into the car, kicked it, and we were hailing. And he then boom, 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 the car picked up. Now the car has reached its peak.
Yes.
It can't go beyond that speed. What I mean is this. Musa did not reconfigure newly the entire military system. He is working with what he met there.
Okay.
Even if he has new ideas, he alone cannot implement it within himself. Yes. He must use the existing structures
that he met
to operate. And you and I have been shouting that the military has been infiltrated. We all know it. It's been infiltrated. And the military seems not to be doing anything about it. Recently, we've gotten some
reintegrated.
Yes.
Reintegrated.
Reintegrated.
Is the word.
Yes. How they use a word. The repentant. We brought them into the military. How on earth? And where on earth do you bring prisoners of war
into your military?
Into your regiment?
Military structure.
Your military, where the war is still going on? Where is it on? When you capture a prisoner of war, you put them in a camp. You watch them there. It's after the war has been over.
That's when you integrate.
And you negotiate. You see, the release of prisoners is not automatic. It's negotiated, given conditions on which they can go back. It's then you release these prisoners of war. But not so in Nigeria. The war is going on, you are releasing them. You are integrating them into society. How? You really mean that you can brainwash somebody within 4, 5 months, 6 months, and he will forget all he has been practicing, all he has been living on, his faith. He will forget them overnight. Hey, come on. These are the problems that Musa is facing. Plus, at the time Musa was appointed, the whole country was against the individuals that were occupying those positions. Is it Dabu that is named the former minister? He was just not even, he had no idea
military-wise.
Of what a bomb looks like. He was saying that in the forest, bombs cannot reach the bandits. Whereas Americans are using bombs to crack bunkers that are 30 feet, 40 feet below solid rock. And saying bombs cannot get. That's to tell you how wrong we've been getting this thing. We've gotten it too wrong for too long. That is, it's like filling a well, a very deep well. You won't know if you are putting sand until it gets to the level of the ground. And that's just beginning. So whatever work you are doing, filling the well, is not sin. So whatever Musa is doing, he may be trying. But you see, the man is being tried when the war is ongoing. His hands are tied. Surely he's not happy that the brigadier generals are being killed. He's not happy about that.
During his tenure.
He's not happy about that.
These were former colleagues.
You get me? So the problem is Musa is working with the existing structure that Buhari for 8 years incapacitated.
Anyway, we will not in any way incapacitate our discussion, but stand and talk on it. Well, in case you're joining us, it's still dialogue on Atlantic TV, Viewpoint it is. And today we are looking at the growing insecurity, and not just looking at it, but critically looking at it and wondering why it seems to be having a niche and indeed a strong footing, especially as we approach the 2027 general elections. So there's a call that we should in every way push away campaigns in some critical states on account of insecurity. But just like our guest said, are we still going to kick the elections on account of that? Well, anyway, let me come back to you. Well, a funny narrative it is anyway. But let's stick with the issue of the elections now. Let's leave all that transpired some 8, 9, 10 years ago that we are now reaping the fruits, like you said, and look at the election in itself. When we'll still bring his name into our discourse. I was talking about former CDS and now Minister of Defense.
Yeah.
When he came last year, August to be precise, I still remember the day, and said, we are just starting to see the foothold of insecurity. That as we go closer to the elections, we are going to see an uptick. He then sounded like a prophet of doom in a Nollywood movie called You See More, You Say Less. But now it is now reality to us. So my question is, was he a prophet of doom that saw what will happen? Or do you feel politicking is a part of this growing insecurity?
Politicking itself is insecurity. Brings insecurity because the Nigerian politician does not play fair. We got to say it clearly. The Nigerian politician does not play fair. He likes to use force. That is why the politicians recruit thugs, and they give them a very beautiful name. Able-bodied men.
Youth wing.
Thugs. And there is always upsurge in crime during electioneering. Because these thugs, no matter how able-bodied they are criminally oriented. They are criminally oriented. That's why they're able-bodied. I'm not going to employ your son as a thug because that is not criminally oriented. His upbringing is quite different. That is why you find again that Agberos, like the experience in Lagos State in the last election, 2023 election, become very prominent, very significant in the campaign structure. Able-bodied men, thugs, youth wing. And now you have trained men available, trained criminals who have guns. Previously, politicians have to go and find guns. Now, no. All you need to do is go to where the henchmen are, and you recruit them. You pay for their guns, you pay for their bullets. So, when politicking comes up, there's an uprise in crime. Well, then there are the criminal gangs themselves who use this lax environment to strike.
Okay, relaxed environment.
Yes. To strike, to hit. Because no matter area they strike, there are politicians who will be happy with that.
To campaign on.
Yes, to campaign on. To benefit from. But when you are striking, you are either striking opponent camp, adversary camp. Because the word opponent gives impression that, well, we are playing on a level playing ground. But when you start using adversary, you are going now into the area of enmity, of hatred. So, the politicians, therefore, create insecurity in areas where they have disadvantage. They don't want election in that area because that is their weak area. If election is conducted there in the first place, they will lose. So let's not just conduct election there. Are you following me?
Yeah.
But in their area of strength, they want to hold that. While you are holding here, the opposition, seeing what you are doing in this area, will also bring war to your doorstep. So that election will also not be held in your area of strength. It's a strategy of winning election. Make sure that your strong opponent does not exercise to the fullest the advantages of his area of strength
during
the election, so that you can easily win. It's used in worry. It's used everywhere. So the point is this. When election comes, you see a rise in those illegal criminal activities on the part of the politicians with active connivance of security forces.
Active connivance?
Yes, active connivance.
It's a strong statement.
Yes, it's a strong statement because every politician of significance has police escorting him. They've just removed police. They have this, yes, they are the same, they carry guns. Who knows the difference? You don't ask somebody whether you're a policeman or you are, a vigilante. He's carrying gun, So, he's paying for those security to a commander or commanders of that area in which the area of jurisdiction of those armed security men that guide him. So he's friendly with them. He's friendly with the commanders. He's giving them money in form of payment for the services of the security men, and that gives him an opportunity to be more friendly with him, with the commander, and he pushes more money to him to enable him look away. Yeah. And when a crime is committed, the armed security guards serve as witnesses for him that nothing such happened.
So the way you're saying it seems to be deep-rooted, seems to be entrenched, that in every election cycle, violence characterizes the day.
Indeed.
Before, during, and almost immediately after the elections. Now, let's look at it now critically now. We barely have 7-8 months to the general elections. And we're now being hit hard by insecurity. There's no day we put on the radio or people watch this beautiful show, or even we go through the dailies, that will not be hit with an uptick in violence. Now, my concern is, are we likely going to see a further rise in this as we get close to the elections. February, like I said, is just like 7-8 months from now, and yet we are like this now. Many are already getting that fear. Many are already expressing deep pain of what will likely happen close to the elections. You agree with me that the uncertainty that greets the political climate itself is a bit too dense, with the PDP ADC not knowing whether their face or their parties will be on the ballot. That's on one side. Primaries will soon take place, and you do know how primaries are.
Oh, but tomorrow now they start.
They start. We even know how implosion happens to political parties immediately after primaries. An optic of I will revenge you, you will revenge me. That's on the side. We're talking also again, we're looking at the political angle to all of this. We're now also looking at laxity on the part of our security architecture during this period. Because everybody is politicking and trying to cash in big on account of the political climate. So my question is, are we likely going to see an update as the month progresses ahead?
We are seeing it now. Are we likely to see when we are seeing it?
Are we likely going to see it increase?
It's going to increase now. It's going to increase. The Supreme Court is sitting on judgment over ADC, PDP. And rightly or wrongly, I use those, rightly or wrongly, the opposition is attributing the fate of their party to the ruling party. ADC, every opportunity says APC is behind the crisis in the party. PDP no longer has its own. Wike is the root cause of all these problems. So, what are we seeing now? We are seeing the opposition ganging up against the ruling party. And if they lose at the Supreme Court, and they are not going to participate in the national election, what do you think they will do? They'll find a way to sabotage the election. Whether we like it or not, that's what they're going to do. They find ways to sabotage the election. They find ways to undermine the election itself and to undermine the ruling party and the credibility of the election, and inevitably the credibility of the federal government itself. Is it the US government said that they are watching the outcome of the Supreme Court judgment, and they warned that Supreme Court should not use technicality in giving judgment. They should address the issues, not technicality. That's a heightened situation. And don't forget, America is in Nigeria with its forces. So we are sitting on edge of a razor blade. We are sitting on the edge of a razor blade.
Now, before that razor blade cuts our trouser or our bumper, I want to ask you a question. Do we need all of these uncertainty and political rhetorics as it concerns the discussion of you are my enemy, you are the reason we are being in this problem? Would this, I'm just a bit curious and also a bit scared that if the judgment does not go the way of the opposition, would the nation not see an eruption of protest on account of this?
It will. It will see it. And for heaven's sake, must it be this way? Must it be this way? It is this way because government is the only profitable business in the country. You win election as a governor, you are made. You, your children, your generations to come are made. You win election as the president of this country, you are made. Your families, your people, they are all made. So, and when an office is made to be too lucrative, it becomes a do or die struggle to get there. The moment the official car of Mr. President becomes a bicycle, you won't find anybody going there. Nobody will ever vie to be president of this country then. Make a bicycle his official car. Remove all those retinues of security around him. Reduce the aura of the office. Reduce the money available to him. Put a lot of institutional regulations to limit his powers. The office will no longer attract anybody. It will not attract anybody. And this do or die thing will evaporate. We have institutions of the security agencies, the police. That is not independent. What Mr. President wants is what they do. So an entire security of a country depends on the benevolence of Mr. President. That's not good enough. The police should be independent. Once you are an IG, you owe no obligation to Mr. President, but to the Constitution of the country, as they do in the United States, like they do in advanced countries. FBI is not loyal to Mr. President; he's loyal to the Constitution of the country. Even the armed forces of the United States, there are others, as you can see, going on now, that they disobey. And they are not tried for it. At the very worst, they are sacked.
Or replaced.
So, until we get our independence of our institution, you are talking of INEC. How on earth will you tell me that Josh Amokuton will not be loyal to the man who appointed him? We are all human beings. We are all human beings. A man who put in that exalted position, even if it is 0.100% loyalty, you will have to him. And if there are an opportunity comes for you to help him, you will help him. So, the problem of this country is institutional. If we have institutions that are independent and seem to be independent, and everything is done to make them independent, we won't have any problem. If the judiciary is independent and completely independent, we won't have any problem. And those institutions include the National Assembly. The National Assembly, the idea of setting up a National Assembly or State Assembly is to serve as a checkmate of the activities of the president or of the governor.
Not to wither its power, but be more like
checkmate.
An appendage to what he does.
No, not an appendage to what he does.
Because that's what we are seeing now.
Now what you are seeing is an appendage. Whatever you want to do, you pass it through your budget to the House Assembly or National Assembly, and they look closely. They scrutinize it. And when they pass it, they also have oversight committees to ensure that you abide by the conditions for which they gave you this money. Do they do it? They don't do it. They don't do it. So we have a problem, a huge problem. And we are just looking at the election, our behavior during the election as the beginning of the problem. It's not the beginning of the problem. It's a manifestation of the problem itself.
So it's just like it's showing us the true colors of what we do.
Yes, and who we are.
How far we've come.
Who we are. Just it's a picture of who we are.
Now, I want you to give me another picture. Not the picture of who we are, but what will be after the elections. Are we likely going to see Mr. President battling in the next 4 years on insecurity issues?
If Mr. President,
if he wins. Sorry, I have to really bring that caveat into.
If he wins, if he does not restructure this country, I'm not talking of North, South, and all that. No. The first restructuring that is needed in this country is institutional restructuring. Make the judiciary independent and truly independent. There are no calls to the Chief Justice in the night. And the Chief Judge himself does not owe you any obligation whatsoever.
But Chief Olori Magege, you are not certain anybody called anybody in the night.
What?
You are not certain if anybody called any judge in the night.
I am not network.
Okay, sorry.
I'm not network. Okay. So I don't know who calls or who does not call.
Okay.
But when a judge seems to be getting all the cases of a particular man of importance, and his judgment the sentences in his judgment have been relayed have been said by that big man in government a week earlier. It means the big man in government has seen the judgment, or he himself wrote the judgment if he's a lawyer. Are you getting me?
Yes.
And the judgment, one after the other, not one, not two, not three, 6, 7, 8, are consistently in favor of that big man in government. I don't need any suitor to tell me that judge has been compromised.
So it's billing the billings of your God.
Yes.
Why?
And painfully, nobody in the National Judicial Council is saying it. And is taking action on it. Nobody. Until you, the press, start screaming. Is then they come with lukewarm attitude. Hey, that's so. Let's look. Meanwhile, the damage has been done. And that's the thing. The damage has been done. A judge delivered a judgment that from all views, from all angles, the judgment is wrong. And nothing can be done. You are told to appeal. And the appeal will go on for 4, 5, 6, 7 months. Well, the damage done.
It's already there.
It's already there. It's not cured. We are building a nation of people who are angry. And it is their anger that goes back to what we are talking about. Feeds the insecurity in the country. The judiciary is very partial. Very, very, very partial. And when somebody does not get justice, he takes the law into his own hand. Alone, or he finds people who have suffered the same fate, and they form a gang to against the system. This breeds insecurity. So, institutional deregulation we must face. We must address. If we don't address it, you restructure the country from here to tomorrow. Nothing works. Nothing works. Once we get it right, INEC is independent and truly independent. Judiciary is independent, truly independent. The security agencies are independent and truly independent. But all these problems are not good. Is it not surprising that a minister of justice, a minister of the number one law enforcer of the country, is now on trial? Is now on trial for all kinds of offenses, ranging from corruption, support of terrorists, on and on and on and on. Is that not? And he's been in office for 8 years. Just imagine if those allegations are true. What damage he has done. What damage that man has done. These are the problems. And the system that produces that and encourages that and does not enable people to catch him, that system needs to be changed. So the problem is in the institutions. If we don't get that right, forget it. Insecurity will continue. Because the man who is oppressed, the man who has spent millions and billions on election, he did not lose because he is unpopular. He lost because of under-table dealings. He will never, ever be at peace with what he suffered. And will continue to find ways to undermine the system.
So all you are saying, I don't want you to sound like a prophet of doom. Nobody is so doom. Anyway, nobody is a prophet here. But what you are saying is that we're likely going to see violence irrespective of who comes.
Yes.
As president.
If we don't solve the PDP and ADC thing very well, it's likely to be, the scenario will be worse than this. Because the people involved are powerful people. They have the resources, they have the connections.
To change things.
To change things.
For the good of the
For heaven's sake, why not just let ADC run? Why not let PDP run? And let the electorate decide who wins. That solves all these problems. That is the solution to this problem. You want to contest election? Welcome. Go to the field.
Let's see your popularity.
Let's see how you win. Let's see your popularity. If you win, we hail you. You take over the reign of government. If you lose, let him know that he lost. Let him know that he lost. If he knows he lost, he can't make noise. His supporters will abandon him. It's the man who lost and he feels he's been cheated that is angry. A man who lost and lost. His supporters will tell you, but you not try. Waiting. I beg, you not try. You not try. I'm not follow you again. Not a support man like you. That is the beginning of curing the madness in the society. But when somebody wins and you cut him short and he cries to the judiciary adds salt to the injury. He goes to Supreme Court adds habanero pepper to the injury. The man will say, okay. If I not die today, I'm not going to die again. Make I could die with me today. That is the issue. Let everybody have a free and fair election. And this problem will die off.
But anyway, I know we need to really die off the discussion because of time. And time is not a friend. You won't believe we've been talking for close to an hour now.
The time in this your studio is always wrong.
The truth is, the discussion is always so interesting. Hence, our time is always short. But we're not short of time of saying thank you so much. Say you try well. You try well. Let's put it that way. Giving us this elaborate understanding. Undermining, I really need to let you go. I still have one final question.
Go on.
Let's look at all the narrative. Let's look at all the scenarios of our elections. There's a recent call for the man at the helm of affairs to resign. That he's becoming a bit apolitical. Or political rather, not apolitical.
You mean Joshua Mokuton?
Joshua Mokuton.
Yeah.
And the call seems to be growing by the day. In your own honest assessment, what should he do to be seen, not to be enmeshed either by one political party or not? Yes, I know. Just like what you narrated. Who puts me there, I will do well for them. Let's leave that. But let's look at what he needs to do as an electoral umpire to diffuse the minds of many that is not being partial. What does he have to do?
He has to be very prayerful that the judgment of the Supreme Court will not hurt him. If particularly this ADC thing, if the Supreme Court interprets condition antebellum, I don't know. You know it.
Technicalities.
Yes, technicalities. The order, the ruling of the Court of Appeal that says that every party should return to status quo antebellum. It's not big stomach, not big belly. If, because that is the Achilles heel of Amokuton. If the Supreme Court says, well, the Court of Appeal antebellum, they don't find a way to upturn it. Josh Amokuton will be hurt in no small way. More so as he is a son, an SAN. See, one would say he should have known the correct interpretation of that status quo antebellum. That what he interpreted it to be
was different.
And George does not have that opportunity of saying my aides misadvised me. He doesn't have that benefit anymore because he himself is the law. An SAN, Senior Advocate of Nigeria.
You know better.
You know better. If you cannot interpret status quo antebellum, then your son becomes questionable. So let him fast go on 7 days fasting, dry fasting, to ensure that Supreme Court supports his interpretation. That's number one. Number two, let him focus on the conduct of the election. Leave the parties alone. Number three, the judiciary should obey the Electoral Act that says internal problems of political parties stay away. People no longer find ways to solve internal disputes internally. All they do is run to court and get injunction. Run to court and get it. And these injunctions do not enable people to exploit all avenues to resolve crisis.
Resolution of crisis.
So when the Electoral Act says, court, stay away from internal issues of political parties, the court will respect that. Should stick to it, but it will stick to it at all costs. And then, if all these are in position, and Amakwito now says, I'm going to be free and fair, and we all seem to be free and fair, that will create people's confidence in the electoral process, and the tension will go down. Like I said earlier on, let people who lose know that, realize that they've lost, accept the loss, because they did not perform. When you are on a 100 meters race, and your colleagues in the race are already at the end point, and you are still at the beginning point, nobody needs to tell you that you failed. You know you failed. Let it be like that. Those who fail, let them know. Let them accept that they failed. Let them see for themselves that they have failed. And you will not run to court.
And get a different judgment.
Get a different judgment. We are then there. All this insecurity relating to politics will die. We are not, there are three aspects of this insecurity. One, religious. This is not what we are talking about.
Yeah.
One is economic.
Criminal-minded.
That's not what they are talking about. But the one that is political, that exploits these two, the first two, religious and economic,
for its gain,
that's the most dangerous. And we need to find a way to remove that completely, to remove the political end to insecurity. Then we can see the economic end, and we can see the religious end. And government can now decide
what mode or model to deal with
them. That's my view.
Well, thank you so much. I need to thank you so much, Bishop. Sorry. Chief
I'm not a bishop.
Oh, no, anyway, you said somebody should fast for 7 days. So, sorry. I needed first some spiritual understanding. But all the same, thank you so much, Chief Olori Magege, for coming and doing this with us. We truly enjoy your insights, frank analysis, and table-bearing knowledge of what seems to be happening. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
We really appreciate your time with us.
And you are doing very well.
Well, thank you so much.
I watch you on YouTube and Facebook.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you.
You are doing very well. And I can't wait till your main studios.
We'll be more than happy to go to the
studios, please.
That's what we'll do. Well, thank you so very much. Well, anyway, it's more like a wrap on the show today. I will always emphasize that if you find our discussion truly interesting, that it always is, please go drop your comments on our different social media platforms. Let's hear from you. Let's understand what you feel. Don't just only listen to us, but let's get your reactions as it concerns all we've been talking about today. We're still talking about insecurity and the 2027 general elections. Do you agree with what Chief Olori Magege has said? If yes, why? If no, why? We need to get it right. That's what I believe. But anyway, in getting it right, I'll tell you to still be with us. It's still Viewpoint. The news will come soon. But for me, Michael Gobadia, God bless you. Have a nice day.